Welcome to the Apple Insider Podcast. This is your host, Stephen Robles, and this is a special recap episode for Apple's Unleashed event. They announced improvements to Apple Music, new colors for HomePod Mini, new AirPods, and the redesigned MacBook Pro models we've been waiting for. We're going to cover all of that in just a moment. And this episode is brought to you by Manscaped, The Prisoner Wine, and iMazing. You can get 30% off all iMazing personal licenses until the end of the month with coupon code iMazingM1X when you purchase from iMazing.com. Now let's jump into the event. The event opened, honestly, with one of the best intro videos I feel like we've seen at an Apple event. It was someone sitting in a garage making music with sounds from Apple devices, the startup chimes, a HomePod Mini sound, and honestly, it was really cool. I hope they released that track on Apple Music. So awesome intro. Tim Cook started the show saying they're going to focus on music first of all. Zane Lowe came on to announce some improvements to Apple Music, especially for Siri. You'll now be able to ask Siri to play the dinner party playlist or play a playlist to help me relax, and it'll just play one of those curated playlists automatically. And he also announced a new Apple Music voice plan. This plan is going to be $4.99 a month, cheaper than the individual Apple Music plan, which starts at $9.99. But this voice plan, you'll actually only be able to play music through Apple Music via Siri. So if you just want to be able to access Apple Music via Siri, maybe you want to buy a HomePod Mini but don't have other Apple devices, you can use this $4.99 a month plan to access the full Apple Music library, but only via Siri. That plan will be starting available in 17 countries. Apple also announced new colors for the HomePod Mini. No hardware improvements or differentiating factors, but you get 3 new colors, yellow, blue, and orange, which is nice, as always, to see Apple introduce colors. HomePod Mini is still $99, and those new colors will be available in November. To round out the first section of the event talking about music and audio, Apple finally announced the new generation of AirPods. These AirPods are Generation 3, and they will actually come with spatial audio built in. That was just reserved for AirPods Pro and AirPods Max before. But these new base model AirPods Generation 3 will now have spatial audio. These new AirPods have been redesigned with a new contour design to fit more ear types. And in addition to spatial audio, we'll have a low distortion driver and adaptive EQ to help adjust the sound depending on who is wearing these new AirPods. They do not come with those silicone tips like AirPods Pro, so there won't be sound isolating. You do get 6 hours of listening and better battery life in these models as opposed to the second generation previous models. And 5 minutes of charge on these new AirPods will give you 1 hour of use, so a little bit faster charging there as well. With the new case, you get 30 hours of listening time because you can charge the AirPods 4 times over in that case. The new third generation AirPods will also have MagSafe and wireless charging built into the case, and they are sweat and water resistant. MagSafe charging will also be coming to a new case for AirPods Pro soon. The new third generation AirPods will start at $179, and they're available to order right now, but shipping times are slipping quickly. Tim Cook then transitioned us to talk about the Mac, and specifically MacBook Pro. We did not see a Mac Mini, iMac, or Mac Pro in this event. It was just for the notebook computers, namely the redesigned. They have a brand new design, 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro. I also thought it was interesting that Tim Cook said, we're a year in to our 2-year transition. So it seems that Apple is considering that 2-year transition to have started with the launch of the M1 chip last November in 2020. And so this is the midway mark, which means it's likely we'll have to wait till 2022, possibly even WWDC next year to see that updated and more powerful iMac and even the Mac Pro. Apple then began talking about their brand new high-performance chips, which were not named M1X. That naming did not happen. These are called M1 Pro and M1 Max. They actually launched 2 separate chips. They talked about the M1 Pro at first. The M1 Pro has a 10-core CPU and a 16-core GPU. Now that CPU has 8 high-performance cores and 2 high-efficiency. Apple is saying this new chip is 70% faster than the M1. And if you know anyone or if you yourself have used an M1 chip, I can tell you from experience, it is incredibly fast. So this M1 Pro is going to be even faster. Apple is saying the M1 Pro chip has 2 times faster graphics than the M1 chip, and it now supports 2 external displays. The M1 chip just supports 1 external display, but now the M1 Pro, you can have 2 externals in addition to the notebook screen, and it has up to 32 gigabytes of unified memory plus more I/O bandwidth. So you can get more memory with the M1 Pro than the M1 previously. Apple then went on to announce a second chip that they are calling the M1 Max. Now, the M1 Max chip can get up to 64 gigabytes of RAM, also has a 10-core CPU, but a 32-core GPU. And that's kind of the big story on the M1 Max is that GPU. This M1 Max chip is 4 times faster GPU performance than the M1, and also 4 times faster GPU performance than the Radeon Pro 5600M, which was the discrete GPU that you could get in the previous 16-inch MacBook Pro. So graphics performance on the M1 Max chip is incredible. The M1 Max can also support up to 4 external displays. So to put that in perspective, the M1 chip supported 16 gigabytes of RAM, up to 2 terabytes of storage, and 1 external display. The M1 Pro now supports up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, 8 terabytes of storage, and 2 external displays. Then going all the way up to the M1 Max, it supports 8 terabytes of storage, 64 gigabytes of memory, and 4 external displays. Craig Federighi then came on to talk about the tight integration with macOS and these new chips, M1 Pro and M1 Max. Things like Logic Pro, you can now do spatial audio mixes on a notebook computer. You weren't able to do that before, but these chips are powerful enough to do that. Final Cut Pro, object tracking is 5 times faster, and ProRes encoding is 8 times faster. If you use Cinema 4D, which is a third-party application, it's actually 3 times faster on these new chips. And before we get to the completely redesigned 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro models, I'd like to tell you about our friends at Manscaped, the leaders in male grooming. Their 4th-generation performance package absolutely changes the grooming game. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped for their shower time routine by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping when you use the promo code AppleInsider. Now, as a guy, I do try to keep myself groomed, especially nose hairs and things like that. You know, I'm on video for AppleInsider as well. And I've used cheaper trimmers in the past, especially with like nose hairs and stuff and other sensitive areas. It's just so easy to get pulled and they hurt and it's not a great experience. Well, you can change all of that. Their 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multifunction on-off switch that can engage a travel lock, and you can even turn on a 4,000K LED spotlight for when you need a more precise shave. And also, this thing is waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. That's where I prefer to do my grooming anyways, and so it is great that it is waterproof. The Weed Whacker for nose and ear trimming is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor, 360-degree rotary dual blade system. It also has a proprietary skin-safe technology which prevents nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. So get 20% off free shipping with the promo code AppleInsider, all one word, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code AppleInsider at manscaped.com. You'll see a link in the show notes for that. Go check out manscaped.com and use the promo code AppleInsider. Keep yourself well-groomed, fresh, and clean with Manscaped. Our thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring this episode, and another brand new sponsor, the Prisoner Wine Company. Did you know that it's a proven fact that when a sommelier tells you a story about the wine you're drinking, you'll literally enjoy it more than if they didn't? The Prisoner Wine Company wants to make sure you feel that way with every bottle. The Prisoner Wine Company insists on doing things differently, like 20 years ago when they decided to combine some of California's best and most unusual grape varieties to make a bold and complex blend, aka their namesake wine, the Prisoner Red Blend. From the shape and weight of the bottle to the label featuring Francisco Goya's artwork, every detail is striking and memorable, and the wine is smooth, rich, and approachable. And now the Prisoner Wine Company will ship all of their rule-bending blends, like the Prisoner Red Blend, the Prisoner Chardonnay, directly to your door. I actually got to try the Prisoner Red Blend, and I love the branding and the artwork that's on the bottle. And of all the wines I've tried, I actually love this the best. Great aroma, great taste, and I highly recommend you try it. The Prisoner is one of Napa Valley's most recognized red blends, and the Prisoner Wine Company has been featured in Wine Spectator, Forbes, and Food and Wine. You've got to experience these wines for yourself, so go to theprisonerwine.com/AppleInsider for 20% off plus free shipping included on your first purchase. You can get it in time for the holidays. This is the best deal they have available. Get 20% off plus free shipping included at theprisonerwine.com/AppleInsider. That link will be in the show notes and you can just click it there. That's theprisonerwine.com/AppleInsider AppleInsider. Offer valid on first-time online orders only for U.S. residents of legal drinking age through December 31st, 2021. Other exclusions may apply. Please enjoy wines responsibly. So believe it or not, most, if not all of the rumors about these redesigned MacBook Pro computers came true. From all the additional ports to MagSafe to the notch, it all happened. So we have a new 14-inch and 16-inch model MacBook Pro. The 13-inch model remains, so if you want the lower-end MacBook Pro, it's still an M1, still 13-inch. But these new MacBook Pro models, powered by the M1 Pro and M1 Max, 14, 16-inch displays. These new MacBook Pro models have a completely redesigned chassis. It actually looks a little thicker on the bottom, but they are still plenty thin. And believe it or not, MagSafe charging is back. So you'll be able to charge these 14 and 16-inch new MacBook Pro models with MagSafe, but you'll also be able to charge it using the USB-C ports. They come with 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, and you can charge the laptop using those as well. And they've also brought other legacy ports back to these new models. The 14 and 16-inch models have HDMI port, SD card slot, but no touch bar. Let me say that again. There is no more touch bar on MacBook Pro models, neither the 14 or the 16-inch. It's just a Magic Keyboard, no touch bar, all function keys are back. And it still has a headphone jack in case you were wondering. These new MacBook Pro models also have a Liquid Retina XDR display with Pro Motion, which is incredible. This is the kind of display that's on the M1 iPad Pro. It's powered by that mini LED display technology, ProMotion variable refresh rate screen, meaning it can go to 120 hertz or ramp down to save battery life. It's going to look incredible. Now, the display resolution, in case you were interested, the 16-inch MacBook Pro is 3456 by 2234, and the new 14.2-inch display is 3024 by 1964. Apple also updated the FaceTime camera to 1080p and made it into a notch. So yes, the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro models, both of them actually have a notch for the FaceTime camera. Apple said it updated the audio on these machines to a 3-mic array and 6 speakers in the 16-inch model of the MacBook Pro. Apple's saying there's 80% more bass and half an octave deeper on these new MacBook Pro models. And Apple claims they also have spatial audio built into these MacBook Pros. And because they're powered by the M1 Pro and M1 Max chips, they're going to be incredibly fast. Up to 30 streams of 4K ProRes video can be edited in Final Cut Pro, which is incredible. There was even a little knock on the Intel Mac Pro, which I thought was pretty funny. Storage speeds is also incredible, 7.5 gigabytes a second on the updated SSDs in these new Macs. Apple is claiming 2 times longer battery life in Lightroom, and these new MacBook Pros have fast charging. It'll actually go up to 50% battery in just 30 minutes of charging. So, what about pricing? What are these computers going to cost? Well, you can actually update both the 14-inch MacBook Pro and 16-inch MacBook Pro with the same specs. Before, there were only certain configurations available on the 16-inch model. If you wanted to get certain discrete graphic cards or certain memory options, you had to go with a larger size, but that's no longer the case. You can top both of these out with the exact same powerful chip, the M1 Max, 64 gigabytes of unified memory and 8 terabytes of storage. You can do it to both of these computers. All you have to do is choose which size you want. The 14-inch MacBook Pro starts out at $1,999. So $2,000 base model 14-inch comes with the M1 Pro chip. That's an 8-core CPU, 14-core GPU, comes with 16 gigabytes of unified memory and 512 gigabytes of SSD storage. Now you can update all parts of that, the chip, the RAM, or the memory. If you want to go with an M1 Max chip, that adds $500 to that 14-inch price, but that's only a 24-core GPU. If you want to get the most powerful chip that Apple is offering, the M1 Max, 10-core CPU, 32-core GPU, 16-core neural engine, you have to add $700 to that price. Unified memory, you can go up to 32 gigabytes for $400 additional, or 64 gigabytes for $800 additional. If you max out the 14-inch MacBook Pro with that 8 terabytes of storage, which is one of the more expensive upgrades, it's actually $5,899 fully upgraded. The 16-inch, it starts at $2,499, and if you fully spec out the 16-inch, you're looking at $6,099. All in all, this is an incredible showing from Apple on the kind of powerful chips that they can build. There was a couple graphs that they showed during the presentation how the M1 Max compares with some of the high-end Windows laptops. Well, it falls just under the highest-end Windows laptops in discrete graphics performance. The M1 Max actually uses 100 watts less power. And so you can run all the GPU cores, make full use of that chip, and use much less battery than a Windows laptop. And for the average PC gaming laptop with discrete graphics, the M1 Pro beats it in relative performance. Again, impressive chips, amazing displays on these MacBook Pros with XDR and ProMotion, up to 4 external displays if you like that, and yes, you get all those legacy ports, HDMI, SD card slot, MagSafe is back. Pretty incredible event. Before we wrap up, let me tell you about our friends at iMazing. iMazing is the Swiss Army knife of iOS device management. It's a desktop app for macOS and Windows, which lets you take control of your iOS data, make Time Machine-style wireless backups, easily transfer documents, media, and content, but also dig into system files, access device and battery diagnostics, and more. All data stays local on your computer or on the drive of your choice, and backups can be encrypted for maximum privacy. You can also browse the photo library on your iOS device without syncing it, and then export multiple versions of each photo. You can't do this with the stock Photos app or even image capture on Mac. Quickly drag and drop songs and movies from your iPhone to your computer, or vice versa. No syncing required. You can even download and install iOS apps and manage the app library on your desktop. iMazing is constantly updated, and it's made by Apple fans who enjoy supporting the latest iOS and macOS features. It's already compatible with iOS 15, iPadOS 15, and macOS Monterey. And they recently gained indispensable tools for professionals for managing fleets of iOS devices with iMazing Configurator. You can get 30% off all iMazing personal licenses until the end of the month with coupon code IMazingM1X. IMazingM1X. You'll see that promo code in the show notes as well. You can just copy and paste it from there when you purchase a license from imazing.com. So go to imazing.com and use the coupon code IMazingM1X to save 30% off a personal license. Our thanks to iMazing for sponsoring this episode. Well, listeners, let me know what you're going to be getting from this event. I actually jumped in and ordered several pairs of AirPods real quick because I assume they're going to go quickly and it might be even hard to get them come holiday season. So I ordered some of those, but I think I'm going to hold out on the Mac buying. I'm really wanting a desktop with some of these powerful chips, and while it is extremely tempting for sure, I'm going to be waiting for those M1 Pro and M1 Max desktops. I imagine we'll see them early in 2022. Overall, an incredible event. Amazing when Apple actually announces so many of the things that were rumored to come out. So tweet at me at Steven Robles. That link will be in show notes. I'd love to hear from you. What did you think of the event? Also, if you haven't yet, you can support the show by giving us 5 stars in Apple Podcasts with a review. That helps us out. And you can even support the show with $5 a month, and you can get an ad-free version of the show and early access. You can do that at patreon.com/AppleInsider or right in Apple Podcasts. You can subscribe for $5 a month, and the ad-free episodes will just take over in your feed. Thanks again for joining us for the special recap of Apple's Unleashed event. Stay tuned for the regular Apple Insider episode that comes out every Friday, where we'll go even deeper on everything Apple announced. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.